Good morning, and welcome to my channel, The Fruitcake Astrologer, where I'll give you an astrologer's take on current events and people in the news. Now, I'm getting lots of questions about when the COVID-19 is going to hit the United States. And when I say hit the United States, I mean it started affecting us the way it's affecting China and South Korea. Now, you will notice that Mercury is retrograde, and not just retrograde, but retrograde in Pisces. So I'm going to give you that disclaimer that, it's tough for any astrologer to do a reading under a Mercury retrograde in Pisces, a sign that confuses. But I'm going to go ahead and take a stab at it because I'm getting so many questions. All right. Now, Sag rules the ascendant. And if you look at the data here, you'll see that the moon parallels Fortuna. Now, that's always a pretty darn good sign. So I think this means, in conjunction with the predictions for the spring of 2020 reading I did earlier, that I think we're going to be okay. We're going to fare better. And that just makes logic sense. I mean, we're an industrialized nation. We have good sanitation. Sure, this chart just reeks of bumbling mistakes, but I don't know if you follow John Campbell, Dr. John Campbell on YouTube. He's an epidemiologist out of the UK and gives us wonderful updates. And he says that with good medical care, you have a very high chance of surviving this. The case fatality rate is very low, and it's at this point attacking the elderly with pre-existing conditions. So with good medical care, you have a very strong chance of surviving this, at least in its current form, okay? So if you look to Singapore, which has some of the best medical care in the world, they haven't had a single fatality. So I think with good medical care, we'll be just fine, which I believe that the United States, has good medical care. We have good sanitation. We're a wealthy country. I think we are going to fare far better than, say, North Korea or Bangladesh or the ghettos of India, okay? So right off the bat, I think we're going to do better than most other countries. Now, that said, I'm going to go back to the data here. Look at this. Mars is out of bounds. That means the people are going to be really angry, really frustrated. Mars out of bounds in Capricorn in the first house, squaring the midheaven. And they're going to be really mad at the decisions made. Now, you'll notice the midheaven is the president. That's true, but it's also leadership. Okay, is it the head of the CDC? Is it the head of the Department of Health? Is it all of the above? I don't know, but it looks like there's going to be a lot of mistakes made. Why do I say that? Because Virgo is a sign of analysis, and Virgo is in Pisces, retrograde, conjunct Neptune. Oh my goodness, this literally says there are going to be major miscalculations, major foibles. They are not going to get this right. And I think people are going to be mad about that, probably justifiably so. In their defense, this has never happened before. So in my mind, this is going to highlight issues in our medical system. Okay, it's going to highlight, probably hit people financially. The reason I say that is because Saturn is conjunct Pluto, conjunct Jupiter in Capricorn in the second house. Okay, so even people with insurance in the United States, the deductibles are so high that, in some cases, I think what's the point of having insurance if your deductibles are that high? But so this might highlight some of the problems and the kinks in our own medical system, okay? But it looks like people aren't going to be very happy. I think we're going to be confused. I believe that the leadership is lying to us. I have said that in previous charts, and I'm going to go on the record as saying it again. I think they know more about this than they're telling us. I understand that they want to keep the economy humming. I get it. I know they don't want people to lose their jobs or for the economy to take a hit. But at the same time, people are going to be really mad about the decisions that are being made by leadership. At least that's what the chart says. Really, really mad about this. So when? Now, I believe the announcement of pandemic is imminent, less than a week, okay? Because look at the midheaven, 2744, and Saturn 2724. I believe it's imminent. It's going to happen really soon. And I believe that's going to set a little bit of financial panic off. Okay, people are going to say, oh my goodness, what if I get quarantined? Have I got enough food? I think there will be a bit of a run on the grocery stores, So as I said in my prediction for spring 2020, if there's something you want, I'd say get it now. Coffee, chocolate. If you need medication in your house, don't wait. Now, quarantine. Where will there be quarantines? Now, you will notice a stellium is in the 3rd house, which rules the northeast. And you will also notice that Pisces rules north by west. So what this is, if you look at the map here of the outbreak in the current outbreak, known cases in the United States, you notice they kind of hug the coast. So I believe it will come in from the coast. I believe that some of those communities will be quarantined. So this is kind of saying Seattle-ish, Portland-ish, New York-ish, the northeast, and the northwest. Now, Dr. John Campbell, who I like very much, said the studies show that the virus likes colder climates better, and that it survives the longest on a surface, I think up to a couple weeks, at 41 degrees Fahrenheit or 5 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that if you're worried about a package coming from overseas, just put it in the corner for 2 weeks and then open it. That, the virus won't like it. And that it doesn't like the warmer climates. So as, I record this and it's February 24th, that we haven't really gotten a lot of reports from the equatorial countries. Kind of interesting. So maybe it doesn't like heat very much. Notice the moon's next over. That's stellium in Pisces. And it's in about 15 degrees. So is it 15 days, 15 weeks, 15 months? I don't think months. I think it's going to be more like 15 weeks, which means we probably have a few months left before we really start seeing some difficulty here. Now, from what I understand, the president was furious that the people from the Diamond Princess had been let back into the country without his permission. So already we're seeing kind of a falling apart of the chain of command. And again, this hasn't happened before, It's like, is the head of the Department of Health going to feel like he's in charge? Is the CDC going to feel like they're in charge of letting people in, or how long they're quarantined? Or is the president of the United States, is the military going to feel like they're? So I think we're going to be working out some of this stuff, and if the chart is true, it's going to be a bit of a bumbling about period. So I would say imminent announcement of a pandemic. I believe we have about 15 weeks to our first quarantine, maybe 15 days. Not sure. Again, astrologers don't like reading charts during Mercury retrogrades, especially in Pisces, the sign of confusion. But that's what I'm going to go on the record as saying. I believe we have about 15 days to 15 weeks. I don't think we have 15 months. Okay, so there you have it. If you enjoyed this reading, I hope you'll like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for listening.